Before I start this video out, I do want to say that if you're not following my Instagram, please do so. If you don't have an Instagram, please create one. I posted a pretty funny video on Instagram, and you should definitely check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description because I do post on Instagram quite a bit, so I might quickly, you know, what the F? Anyways, this video is going to be properly called My Favorite Phone of 2013. You could almost even call this my favorite device. If I'm not using this thing, I'm probably using my Nvidia Shield because it's awesome. And if you don't have a Shield, you should definitely get one if you can afford it. The Shield 2 is coming out very soon, and it's going to feature the Tiger 5. So if you don't have a Shield yet, I would definitely wait for the Nvidia Shield 2, unless you can't wait and you want to get the Nvidia Shield. Now, yes, I need to cut my nails. I'm aware of that, and people are going to comment about that, and I'm going to delete your comment because it's not needed. And if you comment again, I will fix you. My nails should not be the point of this video. The point of this video is to tell you that the Nexus 5 is my favorite device, my favorite phone, my favorite mobile device of 2013. I absolutely love this phone. Now, I do want to cover, it does have its flaws. This is a $350 phone. I got the 32 gig model, so mine was $399. But still, you can get a Nexus 5 for $350. And that's off contract. The Note 3 off contract, after taxes, I dished out $760 of my own money on the Note 3. $400 plus tax, you're looking at a little under $400 for this phone. The Note 3, $760. So huge price difference. And the only thing I really like about the Note 3 is the Note 3 is a 1080p front-facing camera, and it has a 13 megapixel back camera that takes some incredible shots. There are times, like if you're trying to say, we'll use a TV for example. I play the PS4. I'm on Call of Duty Ghosts or Battlefield a lot, and if I take a picture of my score on the screen, this thing cannot capture the text properly. It just can't. I pull up my Note 3, I try to take that picture, and I can take that picture just fine. It's very clear. So the Note 3 has an outstanding camera on the front and back compared to the Nexus 5. Now, I take 99% of my Instagram pictures and videos with the back-facing camera. It is not a bad camera, and with the latest 4.4.2 update, they made it even better. So really, honestly, I don't have any complaints. Now, if I paid $760 for this phone, then hell yeah, I'd be a little bit upset that my camera sucks compared to the Note 3. But you're paying almost half, cutting the price almost in half, if you buy an off-contract Note 3 compared to a Nexus 5. So, that'll be the last I talk about the Note 3. I promise you that. Well, I hope so. I can't promise you that. I really can't. I love this phone. I think the screen size is absolutely perfect. I have really long fingers. So on the Note 3, I did it again, so there you go, I broke my promise. I can reach the top, but it's a very long stretch for that notification bar, and a lot of times I have to try multiple times to get the notification bar because I missed it because the phone's so big. On this phone, I don't have a single problem reaching that notification bar, pulling it down, and checking my notifications. I believe this phone is the absolute perfect size for a phone. That's not to say I enjoy a large screen. I can't wait for the Oppo Find 7. The Oppo Find 7 is going to have a 5.5-inch screen, so I'm very much looking forward to that device. The Sony Xperia Z Ultra, if I could afford it, I'd buy that phone right now. It has like a 6.4-inch screen. I don't mind having a big screen. There's times where it's very nice having a big screen because you can see a lot of things at one time. But I truly feel this screen right here is the absolute perfect size for me. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's absolutely perfect. The phone just feels absolutely premium. My brother for another mother, quite literally, his mom married my dad. He picked this phone up just yesterday, last night when he was over visiting, and he talked about how nice this phone feels in his hands. And he has the Galaxy S4, and he came from the Nexus S, the 4G, the Sprint version. Anybody that holds this phone, it's very light, it's very compact, It feels good in your hand. The rubber back feels really, really good. I ordered this phone the moment it was available to order, and I ordered a white one for my wife. My wife does not like the white one. Whenever she picks up mine, she's like, man, your back feels so much better than mine. So she prefers the black. Now, I'm pretty damn sure if you watch my channel, you watch MKBHD as well, and he prefers the white version, which he calls Stormtrooper Edition or whatever. So it's more of just your taste. I prefer the black, the feel, because it's completely different. It just feels just like the back on the 2013 Nexus 7, the black one. I know there's a white one now. I prefer the feel of it. It feels really, really good. Now, when it comes to flash, I can tell you that oh my god, it is so freaking rare that I use the flash on a camera. It's always off. If I take a picture, my flash is always off. I have, these lights that light this video up. I have a little light I can put on a tripod head and shine light on a situation and take a picture or a video or something. I never use this flash. Yes, I'm glad it's there. If I ever do need to use it, I can. But other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. The power button's in a good spot. I like it on the right there because I can hit it real easy. Lock the phone, unlock it. My Instagram thing gets shout out to all my Instagram followers, man. Mr. Bobby J. Okay. Now I'm gonna dive into the software in just a second. This phone has wireless charging. I do plan on buying a wireless charger for upstairs, one for me and my wife, because she has the Nexus 5 as well, and being able to just plant your phone down on something and have it charging sounds amazing. The speakers on this thing are not that loud. That's just, to being honest. Now, probably 90% of the time, I don't have an issue with the volume. I think the volume is fine. It sounds fine, but it doesn't go that loud at all. Now, there's a new version of this phone where the holes are just a little bit bigger, so they're supposed to allow more sound to go through. And that's something I do want to talk about. I think that one of my biggest gripes with this phone is how the speakers are placed. I am going to get a better camera at the end of January, so I'm hoping it'll pick up the shot better. I use a DSLR, and I'm finally switching to an actual video camera that was meant to capture video and not pictures. So I'm excited for that. Anyways, the holes on the bottom here. This is a mono speaker. Only one of these speakers actually works. The other one's just simply a hole to direct audio out the other side. Similar to the iPhone. No, let's be real. The iPhone. Very similar to the iPhone. Only one speaker fires the audio out, and the other one's just kind of there. It sucks. My wife's like, honey, I think my speaker's broken. And she said, I covered up, and there's no sound at all because the other one's not. The speaker, I don't remember which one it is, but if you cover one of them up, you won't hear any sound at all. If you cover the other one up, it'll work just fine. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here, because what I wanted to say about my gripe was the fact that when I'm playing a game, most of the time I have my phone held like this. I'm playing a game like this. Let's show you, for example, one of my favorite games that I always find myself coming back to is this game. Alright, so we'll start it up. It's a little bit loud. I'm using a shotgun mic, so you might not hear that very well. But, look. I'm playing this game, right? It sounds nice and loud. Alright. Audio's gone. You barely hear a darn thing. And that's the speaker that's doing the work. No difference at all. The sound is pretty much gone. So when I'm playing a game, I have to remember... So when I'm playing a game, I have to remember to let my hand off of the side here if I want to hear the audio. If I hold my phone like this like I normally do, I can't hear the audio at all because it's not on the back, it's not on the front like the HTC One, which is still my favorite device for consuming audio through a speaker on a phone. It's on the bottom here, right here, where your hand is being placed most of the time. That's probably my biggest and only real complaint with this phone. If you can get past that, if you can learn to hold your phone differently while you're playing a game sideways, then, I mean, I don't know. It's just something you're gonna have to get used to. That was a CyanogenMod 11 feature, actually. On normal stock Android, you have to keep swiping each one away until they're all gone. and I also have Nova Launcher installed. So my phone's different than what the stock Nexus device looks like. The brightness on the phone was all the way up, so it was a little bit hard to see. Sorry about that, I've just fixed it. My phone looks different than a stock Nexus device. Most of it looks the same, except of course the wallpaper. I have a circle with battery percentage, so that way I can see I have exactly 56% instead of a little bar, which I prefer. And again, I have Nova Launcher, which looks similar to the stock launcher that you get with 4.4.2, but it's customizable. So I have a launcher and a custom ROM. Anyways, the front-facing camera, again, it's only 720p for video, so it doesn't look that great. I'm a little disappointed with that. I understand the price is half the price of a very high-end phone, but it's still a little bit frustrating that it looks so bad. So yeah, the front-facing camera is only 720p. It's decent, it's okay, but it's definitely, I wish it was better. If there had been a version of the Nexus 5 that you could have bought for like $600-700 that had much better like camera and speakers and hardware than this one, I would have gone for it just because of my preference. Another thing worth mentioning is that this phone has about 21 different bands for LTE in it. So more than likely, this is going to work on the carrier you have. Sprint, I know it works on that because I had it on Sprint, and then I put my SIM card back in my Note 3, and I activated this on T-Mobile. And I've never, ever been happier with service before. If I turn my Wi-Fi off, I will automatically connect to LTE. I never ever see LTE or 3G with this phone. I think I have one time before, and then it switched to HSPA, and then it went back to LTE. So I'm always on LTE. I always get very good speeds with this phone. I'll actually show you that right now. Begin test. Okay, it connected to a server in Independence. If I switch it to Kansas City, it'll be better. Give me just a second. I will look for my nail clippers, and I will cut my nails for my next video. I promise you that. Alright, so we'll restart test. We connected to a server in Kansas City, which is faster than the server that's in Independence. And I'll get about 20 to 29 down most of the time. So it's being a little bit slow, but maybe that's because Sprint doesn't even get a bar where I live in my home. And anyways, enough about this. I post on Instagram all the time. When I'm outside or when I'm out, somewhere, I get 20 to 29 down with LTE on my Nexus 5. And I couldn't be happier with my $30 a month bill. It's not $30 plus surcharges and taxes and this and that. You buy a $30 prepaid card, you put it on there, you have unlimited data for a month. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. If I want to make phone calls, I have it turned off right now because the fact that I'm doing this video. But I use an app called Groove IP, and that lets me use my 3G, HSPA, LTE, or Wi-Fi to make phone calls. And since I have unlimited data, I get to make unlimited phone calls for unlimited minutes. I don't ever touch my mobile prepaid minutes, which aren't that many. I know that's talking more about the service than the phone, but I'm going to end this soon because I'm stumbling and rambling. From the bottom of my heart, out of all the devices, I have the S3, the S4, the Note 2, the Note 3, and the Nexus 5 right now. Those are the devices I've had. I've had, the Moment, the Transform, the Nexus S, Evo Shift, Evo 4G LTE, Evo 3D. I've had many devices. And this is by far the quickest one I've ever had with the Snapdragon 800. The Note 3 has the same processor, but the Note 3 has so much bloat on it, it's taking up a lot of that horsepower to run the 2 gigs of freaking RAM that TouchWiz takes up just to use your phone. But when you're on an AOSP stock ROM like this, all 2 gigs are yours to use. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. If I took a TouchWiz device that's running TouchWiz, and even if it had the Snapdragon 800 like the Note 3 and placed it right next to this phone, most of the time this thing would fly through tasks much quicker. I'm talking about if someone requests to follow me on Instagram, the moment I get a notification saying someone requested to follow me, I accept it. And sometimes when I'm sleeping and I wake up, there's several of them, but I accept them. My Note 3 lags so bad that while I'm accepting them, I'll press the accept button and it'll lag so bad that like when I go to press it again, it lags really, really bad. And if I try to open up a picture on both devices, this one will snap to it much quicker. I love the build quality. I love the fact that you can come home, fast boot OEM unlock, accept it. It erases your phone one time. You fast boot flash recovery, open recovery, twerp, 2.6 whatever, 2.7, 2.8, whatever version it is. You ADB push Super SU to your device and it installs it, and then you or ADB sideload. ADB push just basically pushes the file to your phone's internal storage. But if you ADB sideload in twerp recovery, you can sideload Super SU, and you're rooted. And if you want to take an update, you can take an update. Sometimes it fails if you have custom recovery, but all you got to do is flash stock recovery on there, and you're. Before I end this video, probably one of the biggest reasons why I recommend the Nexus 5 to anybody is the fact that you get the very, very latest version of Android. If we go to our settings here, I'm on 4.4.2. You would be on 4.4.2 as well if you have this device. And by the time you're watching this video, there could be Android 4.5 or Android 5.0, Keyline Pie, whatever they want to call it. You will have that version of Android. If you choose to go with the Samsung device, it's going to take them like a year to port Android 4.4 KitKat to your Note 2, your Note 3, S3, S4, whatever Samsung device you have. It's going to take them a very, very long time to go, okay, Google, we now have the source from them. We need to take all of our Samsung bloatware and crap and shove it on the phone. If you have an S4, try to uninstall Lumen Toolbar. That annoying thing in your keyboard that pops up and there's apps that you don't want. Like you just want to type. You don't want them to pop up. You can't uninstall it. Look at the reviews. I will link to that app in the description below. All the reviews are 1 star because nobody can get that off of their phone because they don't know anything about having root access. If you have root access, you can fire up Titania Backup, you can remove Lumen Toolbar, and never worry about that stupid thing popping up again. You have nothing like that on a Nexus device. On a Nexus device, the only apps you have are the apps you install. Every one of these apps are apps that I manually put on here because I wanted to use those apps. I as you can see, I have a lot of apps. I play Battlefield 4 on PC. I played on the PS4. And I ordered it for the Xbox One, and that'll come probably tomorrow, actually. So I play Battlefield and Call of Duty on PC, PS4, PS3, and Xbox One. So that's why I have the Battle Log app on here, and I have the Elite app for the Call of Duty, wherever that's at. Elite right there, Call of Duty Elite. So anyways, all the apps on here are apps that I wanted. They're apps that I installed on here because I like those apps. I don't have to worry about an app being on there permanently that I can't remove. It's just, it's more of a, this is your device, you do what you want to do with it, and you don't have Samsung or HTC or anybody bossing you around telling you what apps you have to have on your device. And that you can't root it, or if you do root it, you can never go back to unrooted and with a reset phone. Like you can fast boot OEM lock this phone, reset it, and I'm telling you what, man. If you're someone that likes rooting, if you're someone that loves having Android 4.4.2 KitKat, Android 4.5, Android 5.0, if you're the person that loves having the very latest version of Android without having a device like, okay, even the Galaxy Nexus has been updated. The Nexus 7 2012. Every single Nexus device gets updated. The older Samsung devices, the updates are going to be very, very slow, and it's going to get to the point where Samsung just neglects that device permanently, and you never see an update for it. Ever. You're stuck on what you have forever. Okay, I'm done ranting. I'm done talking. This is my favorite device of 2013, and if you are tired of Samsung bossing you around, if you're tired of other companies telling you what apps you can't remove, what apps you have to have, if you root your device, there's an annoying notification saying your device has been tampered with, you need to reboot your device, and then you reboot your device and it tells you your device is tampered with, you need to reboot your device, and it's just a cycle that never ends, and you have to freaking figure out what's causing that, remove it, and you just freaking tripped Knox. You're never going back to having 0x0. And if you take your phone to Samsung or your carrier, they will look at if they look at your bootloader, they will deny you service. This device, you don't have that problem. You can come home, you can root it, you can install a custom ROM, you can. Oh, and if Android 4.5 comes out, instead of waiting for CyanogenMod to release an update, you can just go to Google Nexus 5 factory images. In fact, I have a video on how to flash a factory image from Google, and just seconds after you flash that factory image, you're on the very latest version, whether it's Android 4.5, 4.6, 5.0, 5.1, whatever. You're on the very latest version of Android, and you're rooted just moments after flashing that. Nexus devices, all the way. I love this phone. It feels great. It's very, very fast. Out of all the devices I have, and I have many of them, and I'll have many more devices in 2014, this is the one I carry around everywhere I go, and I don't even need to worry about another device. Links to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, my second channel where I post quick videos from most of the time the front-facing camera on whatever device I happen to be carrying around at the time. I also have a gaming channel where I post commentaries and just, anything related to video games. And just pretty much every link to follow me will be in the description below. Please click where it says show more, expand the description, and you'll see all of the links. If you want to stay up to date on the very latest videos that I'm working on, devices that I'm getting, devices that I want to get, and if you just want to be up to date on everything, I highly encourage you to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the very least. That's where I post the most. That rhyme was not intended. This is What Would Josh Do? And I'm signing out. Peace.